everyone, in top lane there are 3 crucial levels that set the tone for the rest of the lane, and it's important that you master them. Those levels are 1 through 3. Every single one of these levels is so important. At level 1, you decide who's going to hit level 2 first, or who will get the push advantage. At level 2, you get another ability, and are much stronger than you are at level 1. And at level 3, you finally get access to all 3 abilities, which is another huge power spike in itself. This is also when the wave will be bouncing off someone's tower and give someone a chance for an all-in. In some matchups, one champion will win at level 1, the other at level 2, and then it could swap again at level 3. Level 6 of course is another important level, but it doesn't matter if you are playing the first 3 levels right. Even if you're in a matchup that loses level 6, if you win the first 3 levels, you'll win level 6 easily. So today, we're going to look at 3 different games on my Plat Smurf where I abuse the first 3 levels and win the lane. I win lane in the first 3 levels almost every game in Plat or below, so it's safe to say you guys need some serious work on your first 3 levels. Anyways, let's get started. The first game we're going to look at, I'm on Trundle vs Malphite. The concept we're going to be focusing on is how a lot of top champions can have really strong level 1s. It comes with experience to figure this out, but it's very important. Trundle is one of those very strong level 1 champions. Others would include Darius, Trundle, or Jax. Malphite is not one of these champions, so this Malphite should play very careful in the early levels. But at the start of the lane, I walk up to the wave and notice Malphite walks back a bit and is hovering around this area. I'm not just going to run at him here, as he can just run away. Instead, I'm going to wait for 2 things. First, I want to see what ability he started, and second, I'm going to wait for him to go for a last hit. So, as the CS gets low, he walks up and uses his W to get them. This is the best case scenario for me. If he started Q, he could run away if I go in, and if he started E, he could reduce my attack speed, which would negate a lot of the damage. But since he walked up, I now go all in, making sure to use Q to cancel my auto animation every time, and get a huge chunk of his health. Also, notice how I'm attacking and moving the whole time, making sure to stay ahead of him as long as possible. I could do the same thing here if I was any champion strong at level 1 like Darius. Now that I got that big chunk of health, Malphite should be waiting really far back until he has enough health that I can't kill him with an auto Q combo. This puts him at no risk if I try to flash in. But he walks up into flash range, so I flash auto Q, and even though he tried to flash, my Q will always go through here and I get first blood. That's why the combo is auto and then Q, instead of Q then auto. If I did Q then auto, his flash could cancel my last auto attack if he flashes fast enough. But Q will always go through. This works for most targeted abilities like Jax W or Darius W. Alright, so just like that, the lane is won, and we didn't even hit level 2 yet. Let's move on to the next game now. In this game, I'm playing Yone vs Camille top. The concept we're focusing on is how important it is to respect the wave state. You might not know what that means, but it'll make more sense as we go. But at level 1, I look for some Q poke on the Camille while playing relatively cautious because I'm not sure what ability she started yet. This is something very important at level 1. For example, if a Jax starts W, it's obvious his level 1 is much weaker, and I could possibly look for an all-in. In this matchup, most Camille's will start W, which gives me lane control, but gives her the trading advantage from range. If she starts Q though, and I walk up, she'll win the trade hard, so I need to keep my distance until I know. But at this point, she uses her Q and runs at me, so I just kite through my wave, not giving her any chance to hit me with it. Since she started Q, I know I don't have to space for her W anymore, and start hitting the wave, trying to get the push advantage while also looking for some Q poke. Camille looks to trade again, but since I'm in my wave, I'm fine letting her hit me with the first part of her Q. The second part, however, I kite out until it falls off. She's taken a lot of damage from my minions at this point, and I'm getting more minion damage than her. So I will start to take over the lane soon by hitting level 2 first. She walks over to ward here, and again, since I know she started Q, I know I can just keep my distance and get free Q poke when she's on the way back. If she started E, that would be way too dangerous and it would give her a chance to all in here. But I'm 1 minion from level 2, so I grab the CS and immediately look to trade, hitting her with my W. But she hits level 2 as I'm chasing, so I back off. She could have leveled up her E and traded back here, but she didn't. Alright, now this is where that really important concept of respecting the wave state comes into play. If we look at the wave, in both of our health bars, it's obvious I have control of the lane. She didn't play the level 1 properly, and I have the push and health advantage, so she needs to stay back and let the wave crash on the tower without losing too much health. She can't beat me in an all-in till level 3, and if she tries to trade into my wave, she'll lose. Or lose so much health, she'll be diveable. But let's see what happens. I'm going to be slowly pushing here, stacking up a big wave. I want to crash this big wave on the tower to get a free recall, or use it to fight with me if Camille goes in for whatever reason. As the cannon wave shows up, my jungler Jax is looking to gank. This should never work, because Camille should never try to trade with me here for the reasons we just talked about. But by just walking at her and fighting, she takes the bait, and Jax actually gets the kill. If we rewatch though and pause here, look at Camille's health as she is hookshotting away. It's pretty low because she went for trades that she shouldn't have gone for when the wave was slow pushing to her. You might be looking at this play and think it's just a jungle gank, but if that's what you're taking away from this, good luck and high elo if you ever make it there, because if you have 60% or lower health, you're going to get dove and lose a giant wave. Alright, moving on to the next game now, I'm on Gnar vs Jax. We're going to talk about a few different concepts here that are important for any matchup, not just range vs melee. But as laning starts, I'm walking in from river because I had to leash. As I'm doing that, I'm wondering if the Jax is going to use his level 1 strength that we talked about to contest me as I walk through. He starts walking at me, so he must know his level 1 is stronger than mine if we trade auto attacks. This is where some advanced laning knowledge comes in though. If he walks up and stuns me when we're relatively close to the wave, he's going to win because I have a long way to go to get to my tower, and if I try to return harass, he can run into his wave. But if he chases too far, his level 1 strength won't matter as I can just run to my tower, then use my range advantage to harass him the entire time he's running away. So let's see what happens. As Jax runs at me, I run to here, then use my Q and auto attack him. He runs away, so I run up and keep autoing until he turns around again. I kite away as he uses counter strike, getting as close to my tower as I can. Then I expect Jax to start running away into the brush, so I walk forward, but he keeps fighting me, so I back up a bit. But now my next wave is arriving, so if he keeps fighting me, he will definitely die to minion damage. He seems to know this and starts running away, but he took so much damage I actually have a kill window here. Sadly, I barely missed my Q, so he's gonna get away. Alright, so Jax misplayed this level 1 by forcing too hard and not playing around the CS. Instead of just running at me like he did, he should have waited for me to walk up to auto attack it, then go in with his E. If I use my Q to get the CS, then that's a good thing for him as I won't have it to grab the others. It gets really advanced depending on how both laners play at this point, so it's pointless to go further than that. It wasn't a bad attempt from him though. Against a low elo player, that could probably work. Anyways, now that he messed up level 1 so hard, he's in a bit of trouble. I'm going to get full lane control now, getting the push advantage and health advantage eventually, so he'll have no way of killing me without a gank. I still have a potion, but don't need to use it at this point as I will regen a lot while hitting the wave. And you might be thinking it doesn't look like he's in trouble right now, but he is. The reason why is that he won't have enough health to win an all-in anymore, and I'm going to poke him even more soon. As I hit level 2 and have Mega Form, I hit him with Q since he's not respecting me. He should be back in his wave. After hitting the Q, I know he's going to stun, so I wait for it, then use my W to stun him back at the same time. Now, we trade kind of evenly, but he doesn't have E or Q and I have a potion. And since I'm ranged, I can still hit the wave and push it, while he can't. This lets me hit level 3 first, as expected. Since I'm level 3 and have a huge health advantage, Jax feels forced to back off and recall, then uses TP back to lane. This actually means he already lost, since I don't need to recall yet. Now I can just trade a bunch and get him low, then recall and TP back in with full health and gold spent and kill him. So let's see what happens. Jax TP's in, but since I haven't warded yet, I'm a little afraid of a jungle gank and I don't try to harass him too much. Then I go place my ward. After placing it, I'm slowly pushing in the wave, stacking up a lot of minions, so when he gets under tower, I can harass him the entire time. As you can see, it's working very well, as he's losing a ton of health. I still have TP2, so he's in a really bad spot at this point. But after crashing the wave and turning Mega, I can't harass under tower anymore, so I can take this time to recall and spend my gold. I TP back in with a Doran's and a longsword compared to his Doran shield, so I'm a lot stronger, and he still has half health with no potions from the harass before. So I'm going to do the same thing as before, but play a little bit more cautious since he has some minions to fight for. The wave is pushing to me, so if he loses too much health, I can freeze and abuse the fact that he doesn't have TP right now. He has about half health, so things are looking good, but he jumps in here, so I knew I was getting ganked. I use my E to jump away, but it still gets stunned, so I have to flash Jarvan's EQ. Now that they have no way of getting on me and my jungler is near, I go aggressive, hugging Riverside to try to bait them in. It works perfectly, with Jarvan running straight into the brush where my jungler is, and I get a free kill on the Jarvan, with Jax flashing away afterwards. Now Jax will be forced to recall and miss a lot of CS since he doesn't have TP, and I got the kill advantage. Alright, so a lot of this lane was the result of Jax not playing levels 1 through 3 properly. He knew Jax had a strong level 1, but he didn't take into account the range versus melee concepts. What he should have done was play safe levels 1 and 2 and stay healthy, then at level 3, look for an all-in because he wins hard there. Alright guys, so as you can see, levels 1 through 3 are very important, and so many different concepts are necessary to play it properly. Hopefully after this video, you'll have a much better idea on what to do and what to focus on in these levels, so you'll win much more. But that's going to bring us to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.